I want us to start, we need to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So please stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anthony, Tony, I'm going to say the prayer.
I thank thee, Lord, as a volunteer, the chance to serve another year, and to give of myself in some small way to those not blessed as I each day. My thanks for health in mind and soul to aid me ever toward my goal. For eyes to see the good in all, a hand to extend before a fall. For legs to go where the need is great, learning to love, forgetting to hate. For ears to hear and heart to care when someone's cross is hard to bear. A smile to show my affection true, with energy aplenty, task to do. And all I ask, dear Lord, if I may, is to serve you better day by day.
Thank you. Now I'd like for us to take a moment of silence for people impacted by the wars, hatred, and community disasters. So please close your eyes for just 1 minute and pray for people. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, can you hear me? This is what it's on. Can you hear me now? No. Okay. We have technical issues today, but we're gonna move on. So we have a nice crowd today, and we're a little behind schedule. So I want us to, I would like for people to introduce themselves. Tony, can you turn it on? How do you want to do it?
You may stand up.
Okay. Oh, is that somebody's phone? Okay. It sounds like bedtime. Okay, let's start.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Kathy Vonderbrink from the Riverdale Optimist.
Thank you.
Larry Horowitz of the Riverdale Optimist Club.
Kathy Bowman Parks from Altrusa of Dayton.
Julia Hall with Green Box. I'm Bessie Jones. I'm also with Green Box, but I'm also representing Owens Place, which is an accessible playground in Beaver Creek.
The ladies in the back, are you?
No,
You're
no,
guest?
We're left over from.
Okay. Okay, very good.
Sorry.
No, welcome. Okay. Okay.
Billy Anderson, I'm with Curves.
Sandra Anderson, I'm a guest, which the birds represent.
Bernice Jackson, 22 Incorporated. Joseph Madeo, supporter of the engineering club and the mother of our president.
Okay.
Derek Ford, NAACP.
Brandon McLean, Dick Rotary,
And board member.
and board member.
Okay.
Margaret Bruckmeyer with the Dayton Women's Club, and thank you all for coming, and we can expand our strength now. I know where a backup sound system is, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
I am Katie Meyer, the president of the Downtown Dayton Partnership.
First one with Mike Dunbar, and I'm also administrator for the establishment.
I'm Sue Agatha, and I am also a member of the Right Dunbar Board of Trustees.
Walter Rice, District Court.
Okay. And Tony.
I'm Tony Masood with the President's Club, past president, currently on the board. I'm also with the Citizen Club of Dayton, Dayton Arab American Forum, and also with the Miami Valley Military Affairs Association.
Terrific. Nice group. Now, everyone must mute their phones. Okay, so we're going to start, and as we said last week, we are going to start with our member. We have 2 member organizations that are going to present and tell us about their organization, and then after that, we're going to have our guest speakers. So the first one is going to be Derek Forward, Dr. Derek Forward, he's the president of the Dayton Unit NAACP. And feel free, we can help you with your handouts if you'd like.
Derek, why don't you go ahead?
I get two handouts.
Okay, good morning or good afternoon.
Yeah.
All right, good afternoon.
afternoon.
All right. Yeah, as stated, my name is Dr. Derek L. Ford, president of the Dayton Unit NAACP, and where I've been since 2007. So I'm actually in my 17th year as president of the Dayton Unit NAACP, as well as vice president of the NAACP for the state of Ohio for the past 15 years. And in both capacities, we get paid $0 and 0 cents for the work that we do on the local and state level. I'm a proud graduate of Central State University with an undergraduate degree in management and marketing, as well as have a master's degree from International Apostolic University of Grace and Truth. Grew up here in Dayton, Ohio, in Jefferson Township, and have enjoyed living inside of the city. And the Dayton Unit NAACP was founded on May the 10th, 1915. So we are a 108-year-old institution right here inside of this community. We were birthed out of the NAACP, which is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, based out of New York, New York. That's where we were founded on February 12th, 1909. And what you have in front of you, I'd just like to talk to you about a little bit. And let's look at this one right here that says NAACP Founders on it. Just the one that's kind of yellow and brown. As you can see, because a lot of people have a misconception because they're really not educated on the organization. But the NAACP was founded, like I said, on February the 12th, 1909, by a multiracial group of people. And as you can see from the face of these founders, these are the 8 core founders. As you can see, there are 6 Caucasians and 2 African Americans. W.E.B. Du Bois, he led an organization called the National Negro Committee. And that organization, he led from like 1905 to 1908, trying to advance the civil and human rights of Black people. Unfortunately, he was not able to get everything accomplished that he wanted to be able to get accomplished. under his tenure, and his path crossed with the lady next to him. Her name is Mary White Ovington. If you look on the bottom left, Mary White Ovington, Caucasian lady. She said, W.E.B. Du Bois, I am very appreciative of your work, and I want to be supportive of your work. And she said, and this is coming from somebody, think about this, the early 1900s, that she had the courage to stand up and say, I want to be able to support civil and human rights for Black people. And that was really incredible on her part. So she is the one, Mary White Ovington is the one who organized a group of 66 people and founded the body and named it the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, back there in New York City, New York. The man next to her is Morfield Story. That is our first president of the NAACP. And in fact, from 1909 to 1976, all of our presidents of the NAACP has been white male, from 09 to 76. We got our first president, his name was Dr. Black president, his name was Dr. W. Montague Collins. He's from the healthcare profession. And he became the first African-American president of the NAACP in 1976. So from 1976 to current day, all of our presidents have either been Black male or Black female. If you look at the other one, and you can kind of look at the demographic makeup of the national founders, but if you go locally, as I said, we were founded on May 10th, 1950, and you'll see more of the same. I'm quite certain you probably recognize the name Frederick K. Wright. Frederick Wright, he was the founder of the Wright's department store. And he was actually one of our founders, but the same person who was one of our founders on May 10th, 1915, was the same person who Jesse Gooding and McIntyre fought back in their days when they were presidents, because there was no African Americans allowed in Wright's department store downtown. So it was really kind of odd from that way that he was one of the founders of the organization, but would not allow African Americans to work inside of his store. But then we also shared, as we heard, Julia Shaw Patterson Carnell, the family that owned the cash register, NCR. So we were founded as a multiracial group as well from a local standpoint. And so the work that we do every single day, day in and day out, we have 5 different youth groups, because a lot of times people try to box the NAACP in and think that we're just, number one, I want to make very clear is that we, from our inception, have been a multiracial, multi-generational, multicultural, multi-ethnic organization from our inception, nationally and statewide, and nationally and locally. But in addition to that, we locally have 5 different youth programs. So we have our Little John Junior Youth Council, that's our kids ages 1 through 13, who are taught leadership skills and community service. Then we have our Dayton Youth Council, that's our kids ages 14 up to 25 if they're still in college. And they're also taught leadership skills and community service. We have a high school chapter up at Thurgood Marshall that's named after myself and Thurgood Marshall, and it's called Move Forward Thurgood Marshall High School chapter, whereas they're taught leadership skills and community service as well. And then we also support Central State University NAACP College chapter. So we're hitting all segments of our youth programming. And then we have what we call the AXO Youth Program. Our AXO Youth Program is basically the academia part of what we do with youth, whereas they compete in the performing and visual arts, sciences, mathematics, entrepreneurship, chemistry, biology, over 30 different areas of competition that they compete in through a year-long enrichment program. It starts in September and it concludes in April with a local awards show. And if these students compete, these are just high school students. So if they compete and they get a local gold medal, they have an opportunity to go and compete nationally. So this year, they had an opportunity to go and compete in Boston, Massachusetts, the home of our first local unit of the NAACP in Boston, Massachusetts, and also Morfield Story, our first national president. That's where he hails from. So we had students to go and compete there, and we were able to bring back to this community a national gold medal in drawing. Last year in Atlantic City, New Jersey, we were able to bring back the national silver medal in computer science, both students from cyber schools for the arts. So these youth programs, the money that comes into us, we have one major fundraiser a year, and that's our Hall of Freedom Awards that take place in the month of October. Last Friday in October, normally about 1,200 people ascend to the Dayton Convention Center. It's the largest diverse gathering of Americans inside of this Dayton region of any organization. So if you haven't never been, I would encourage you to come next year. It'll be the 4th Friday of October at the Dayton Convention Center. So like I said, normally about 1,200 people come here to this particular event and have a good time. So of course we're in the what we call the reactionary side, what I like to call the reactionary side of civil rights. Of course, people come down to our office, they file complaints of discrimination, and we give them service. Whether or not it's complaints, of healthcare, employment, whatever the case may be, we get probably we average on average probably about 170 cases a year that our volunteers take care of at $0 at a cost of $0.00, just as we get paid $0.00. So think about that. Put that in context. Now I'm retired. Thank the Lord that I'm retired from Speedway after nearly a 30-year career. I retired back on October 15th, 2021, and had a very distinguished career with Speedway. We were acquired in May 2021 by 7-Eleven. So in the month of October, I made my exit and retired and have been enjoying every bit of it. So for anybody who's retired, I know that you all know what it's like to be retired, and I'm enjoying it. Brother Larry, I know that you finally gave it up after a while, and I know you're enjoying that retirement. So
I love it.
so the NAACP, we are an organization that I got you. So at the end of the day, we have youth programming, we take care of cases, we put on monthly community educational forums. So every single month, we're educating the community about something, about some type of civil rights that we want them to be educated on the front end, so they don't have to come and visit us on the back end and file a complaint. That's what we do as an organization, and I've been loving every minute of it. And I would just say to keep us in prayer so we can go another 108 years right here inside the Dayton community. Thank you very much, everybody.
That was very, very informative. And I love the story, the history of it, because people really never knew who founded it and why. So that's very enlightening. Next, we have Kathy Ballman Parks, our secretary.
Yes.
Of the President's Club, and she's the secretary of Altrusa, and the second vice governor for District 5 for Altrusa. So she's going to tell you a little bit about Altrusa. We did attend their Twin Tig, attended their fundraiser, and that was fun. And Pam got the best gift, tickets to the Lion King.
Oh.
Yes. And do they have any more?
They said they did.
Yeah, they're sold out. So she got lucky. And she bought the Lion King tickets. But anyway, come on up.
All right. Thank you all. Altrusa of Dayton is one of those service organizations that has been around for 106 years that nobody knows about. I think other clubs can say kind of the same thing as far as they've had an impact for such a long time that we hide our light under a basket. But we started in 1917. They were looking for a women's professional organization. Their first mission was to sell war bonds because we had just gotten into World War I. So that was kind of their main focus. Then also as the women got together, they found other needs in their community. The Dayton Club was the second one founded and the third charter in the United States. We're an international organization with clubs in New Zealand, Ireland, Puerto Rico, India, as far as some other countries. Plus, we have about, I should have looked this up before. I'm trying to remember, probably about 500 clubs in the United States. So the Dayton chapter, back in the 70s, Altrusa International decided to choose literacy as their main focus. So every club usually has several literacy projects. The Dayton Club has a book nook at With God's Grace Free Pantry on North Dixie. They provide books for all ages, not just children, but teens, adults. So anytime they may come in to shop in the store, they're allowed to take a free book. So we've been doing that. We started that in 2020 with COVID. We were able to get that project initiated. We also, one of the things that we're very proud of is we partnered with Dayton Children's Hospital, who is the administrator for Dolly Parton Imagination Library for Montgomery County. Dayton Children's reached out to post offices to see what they do with undelivered books. These books are considered third-class mail, which cannot be resent to the sender, and so they just get thrown out in the trash along with your reach out little magazines, all ads and that kind of thing. So we currently have 12 post offices who are willing to save books that they're not able to deliver for one reason or another. Altrusa members stop by these post offices once a month, collects the books, takes the wrapping and the labels off, and then redistribute them to other organizations who deal with children's literacy. We do the East End Community Center, YWCA, Dayton Christian Center, Oak Tree Corner, Kaiser Elementary. There's about, 18. We just started with Gem City Market, requested some books from children, so we've added them to our list of redistribution. We do the Bring Your Literacy Center, Good Neighborhood Clinic. Dolly does some bilingual books, which are very good for the Good Neighbor Clinic really enjoys and has a use for the bilingual books. Besides literacy, we have gotten grants from international. We did diaper bags for Bridget's Path when they first opened. So we've done like 2 cycles of diaper bags. Of course, we always put a book in there for the infants. We got a grant for our veterans at the Dayton VA in conjunction with Blue Star Mothers. This was been about 3 years ago to provide parkas for patriots was our program. And we provided parkas for 65 veterans who were in need, and then along with other outerwear such as scarves, gloves, socks, things like that. So we're open to any really, if we find somebody comes to us with a need in the community, we're willing to see what we can do to help. So I'm a very proud member. I think any Altrusans, along with any other service organization that's represented here, just does wonderful things. We also have a scholarship and grant program that we support other organizations such as Hannah's Treasure Chest, We Care Arts, United Rehab Services with grants, and we give 4 scholarships a year through the Dayton Foundation to help support the youth. That's Altrusa in a nutshell.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good, significant work, as always. Now, we have guests today who are going to talk about the Medal of Honor Memorial. And unfortunately, even the youngest person in the room can't make this thing work. So, I mean, we really tried. They have a PowerPoint and they wanted you to really see the layout of the memorial. And it's here on the screen. Is it still there? Or is the screen black?
It's black.
Oh, okay. Well, it was there. Okay, so I'll
Maybe we could have them back in December.
yeah, we can have
And
it
do
back
the
anytime they like. But we've got to get that together. But anyway, I'll make that light again so that people can come by and see what the Memorial Park will look like. And so our guest today is our board member, Magistrate Brandon McLean, who is the chair of the committee, and then Judge Walter Rice, and Sue McGrath, and Carla Garrett Henshaw. So please come on up in whatever order you like and tell us about this extraordinary project that you all are working on.
Thank you very much for having us today. You're getting kind of a sneak peek at what's going to happen in this park, and it is going to happen. It is a Medal of Honor Memorial and Honor Park that will be located actually adjacent to the West 3rd Street Bridge. And if you're like me and you've crossed that bridge for years, you may never realize there's a park to the right at the corner of West 3rd Street and Edwin C. Moses Boulevard. It is a city park. Right now, there are 4 World War I memorials in the park, as well as 2 Gold Star Mothers memorials are located there. However, very little attention has been paid to that park. In fact, when we talked with the city about using it, we invited them to come out and see. And on that day, we found that some of the memorials had been spray painted on the back and had clothing and really trash, rubbish that was still laying around there. And unfortunately, that is not unusual for veterans memorials in this community. One of the things we were surprised to find when we started doing some research before setting this plan was that many of the memorials were started by warm-hearted people with the best of intentions who thought they'd be around forever to maintain them, and they're not. So we're fortunate that to some extent the Veteran Service Organization is helping to preserve it. But our planning includes having funds to make sure this memorial is good. So let me tell you more about how we got involved with it. As I mentioned, I'm also a board member of Wright Dunbar Incorporated. If you haven't gone through Wright Dunbar recently, you should. Wright Dunbar's district was the home and workplace of Wilbur and Wilbur Wright, aviation pioneers, and poet laureate Paul Laurence Dunbar. At the time Wright Dunbar Incorporated got involved in the community, it was to restore the buildings in Wright Dunbar that were extremely on decline, from disinvestment, race riots, the infrastructure as the interstates cut through a part of that community. It had been a very lively, viable community for years, had gone from having residents who were historic, who were Hungarian or from Europe, to becoming a predominantly Black community in later years, but now has become very integrated as well. And we're working on development of businesses in the community. Right Pack Credit Union, for instance, has been there for years. Zig's Pharmacy, some of you may know, has grown rapidly while being located there. And then the food hall, Dayton's First, is located in the district, and many others that I won't go through. But there was a time when the buildings were in such disrepair that the roofs of those buildings were in the basement. And we've been able to restore that. So that's our testament for why pulling off a memorial is one that we can do. Rec Dunbar also is the home of the Dayton Region Walk of Fame that recognizes individuals who made extraordinary accomplishments either in our community and beyond. If you come to the district and walk the sidewalks, you'll see granite pavers embedded in those sidewalks that are tributes to those people and their accomplishments. It's actually during discussions about the Walk of Fame that the idea for the Medal of Honor Memorial arose. Actually, a Medal of Honor recipient had been denied honor in the Walk of Fame by an independent panel that was judging. And our board president, some of you may know Harry Seifert, who had been an executive with Standard Register and is a decorated veteran himself, was concerned about that, as were others who were veterans of this community. And after discussion decided we should have a memorial that actually recognizes people who are recipients of that award, which is the highest military award given by the US government for military valor. That is how the idea emerged and has developed over time. In recognition of other veterans of this community, we decided to rename the park Honor Park. So not only would it recognize the Medal of Honor recipients, and there are about 40 recipients from Montgomery and the surrounding counties. But also we would pay homage to all of the veterans of this 8-county region. As you know, we've been pretty devoted to the military here, with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base being here. The VA Center is one of the oldest in the nation. Even I happen to live in Clark County. Springfield Reserve is doing phenomenal research and activities to help keep us safe. So we are so pleased to have the support of a wide range of people for this project. I couldn't show you a picture of it yet, but if you want to come up later and look on the screen, you'll see it. However, at the bottom of this brochure, you will see an illustration of what the memorial and park will look like. There is no question mark on whether it will happen now. This is a $1.5 million project. We've already raised $900,000 that has been committed. And in fact, with some, I call them soft commitments because there are others expressing interest, but we don't name them until we can. So this is at 65% of the way to funding the project already. We have construction companies that are interested in taking it on, and a property manager who will be guiding us in the way. The Dayton Foundation has agreed to handle the accounting for the project. You know, a lot of times there are questions about, well, what happens to the money and who's taking care of that? Mike Parks of the Dayton Foundation is very enthusiastic about this project, and so they will be taking donations that come in for it, and also making investments so that $300,000 of the money raised will be used for long-term maintenance. And Wright Dunbar will make certain that the park is maintained in a way that it deserves. So we hope to have your support. I could go into more detail, but I won't because of time. But this will be a good guide to you on what the project is. And we're so glad to have other people from the committee here to speak. I wonder if you'll welcome Sue McGavin, who can tell you something about some of the honorees who will be noted on this memorial. And I should also include that not only will there be the physical structure, but there's an educational component to this. We will have information about all of the honorees online, and there'll be a QR code so that as people visit, they'll be able to learn. But also if you're a student or just someone interested in this, you will be able to access it online as well. And with the additional traffic coming to the site, we expect to have economic development benefits as well for the community around the park. This is also adjacent to a plan that the metro parks have to expand and enhance areas around the riverfront. So that's kind of it. And in a nutshell, I'll let others talk more. Thanks.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having us here today to talk about the Medal of Honor Memorial and Honor Park. The first thing I'd like to share with you is how the Medal of Honor recipients were identified for this project. And again, Carla mentioned our 8-county Wright Dunbar region, which is the region we draw from for the Walk of Fame. The criteria for how Medal of Honor recipients will be honored at the Honor Park are if they were born in our 8-county region, or if they entered military service in our 8-county region, or if they were buried anywhere in our 8-county region. They will have their names inscribed on the Medal of Honor Memorial. Additionally, if for some reason there is another Medal of Honor recipient who is accredited to one of our 8 counties, or whose medal perhaps is housed in one of our counties, that recipient will also be considered as one of our Medal of Honor recipients. If you would just take a moment to look at the case study that Carla referenced. In the interest of time, I am not going to go into detail about these 3 Medal of Honor recipients, the most recent ones from our region. I will just briefly say a few things about them. Airman First Class William Pitzenbarger actually was inducted into the Wright Dunbar Walk of Fame a couple of years ago. You can read from the story about his heroic efforts, how he rescued numerous soldiers in combat and provided aid to them until he himself was mortally wounded. And he served in the pararescue of the Air Force in the Vietnam War. I happen to, even though I was born and raised in the Dayton area, I am a resident of Miami County for the last 24 years. Airman Pitzenbarger was from Piqua in Miami County. And so I've heard many stories as a Miami County resident of William Pitzenbarger and his heroic efforts to save others, to protect the lives of his brothers in arms, if you will, during the Vietnam War. I'm going to skip to talk just a little bit about Corporal Tony Stein. Tony was in the Marines, served in Iwo Jima, and according to the research that we've done on Tony Stein, and there is, by the way, a memorial to Tony Stein already at the intersection of Valley Street and Keeley, if you ever get a chance to go over there. Tony just seemed to be fearless when he fought in World War II. He was like this one-man person that just kept going back and forth. He modified type of machine gun from an airplane weapon and just used it to draw fire to himself so that other of his soldier comrades could be rescued. I have a slightly personal connection to Tony Stein. One of my aunts by marriage was Rose Stein, Tony's sister. So even though I was just a child at the time World War II was ending, I heard many stories about Tony Stein growing up. The third recipient, Army Specialist for Joseph Guy LaPointe. When Guy was called to serve in the Vietnam War, he showed up where he needed to show up to enter service, declared himself a conscientious objector, entered service, and became a medic. He was then deployed to Vietnam, and while serving as a medic in Vietnam, he, while facing heavy enemy fire, continued to shield wounded soldiers with his body, and eventually he himself was mortally wounded. My personal connection to Guy is a little bit closer than my familiarity with Corporal Tony Stein. Guy LaPointe and I graduated in the same high school graduating class from Northridge High School in 1966. And my personal memory of Guy, shy, smart, and the kindest person you'd ever want to know. So these are the kind of stories that when we started researching the gallantry, the courage of Medal of Honor recipients, we really felt compelled to make certain that we did here in Dayton, Ohio, a strong military town. Our region is a strong military region, that we wanted to pay tribute and memorialize Medal of Honor recipients. So in conclusion to my remarks, I'd like to draw your attention to the back side of the case statement with a sentence that means a lot to me and I think encapsulates what we hope to do by building the Medal of Honor Memorial. At the top of the page, our better selves will achieve more, give more, be more when we honor those upon whose shoulders we stand. So thank you very much, and I'm going to turn this over to Judge Brandon.
Good afternoon, all. It's a pleasure to be here and to see friendly faces, most of which are very familiar to me. I have not yet made the plunge into retirement. As a matter of fact, I announced my retirement and then unretired in the same week. So you have before me someone who has flunked before he ever started. When Carla called and asked me to be a part of Honor a Park, I couldn't say no. First of all, I defy anyone to say no to Carla's park. Simply cannot be done. And secondly, I thought the idea was absolutely brilliant. When I was a small child, and a not so small child, growing up on the streets of Pittsburgh in the 1940s and 1950s, I often daydreamed about putting myself into heroic situations. It took very little imagination for me to imagine that I hit a walk-off home run, winning the World Series for the Pittsburgh Pirates, or scoring the winning touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers on every Sunday on this day. But, well, I grew up. Reality set in. I realized I could not hit a curveball, or for that matter, a fastball, or even a changeup. So my dreams and my aspirations changed. One of the things, however, when I was growing up, and even as an adult, one of the things I could never, ever imagine myself doing was fighting in combat. I simply worried that if I was ever in that situation, that I wouldn't react the way so many of our veterans have reacted. I was terrified that I would let my country down. And even with my vivid imagination, I could never imagine myself having the bravery and the courage to defend our country. These are mostly men, now women, Medal of Honor winners who are emblematic of everything we hold dear in this country. These are men and women who allow me to live where I want, worship as I will, and frankly, for over a half century have allowed me to be part of our judicial system, which is free and independent, a judicial system that encourages me to do what I feel is right under the law and under the facts, without fear of upsetting the government or any person or special interest. The debt we owe these men and these women is absolutely immense. The Medal of Honor winners, certainly, they had the courage, they had the bravery to defend their country and to give their lives to the service of others. But again, every veteran who served, possess that bravery, that courage, and how can we do anything less than honor them? My second reason for not saying no to Carla, other than the impossibility of doing so, is the location of Honor Park. It will be another gym in what will be, if it is not already, the 3rd Street historic thoroughfare, the birthplace of aviation, the area that nurtured Paul Laurence Dunbar to greatness. It is a gem in the diadem of this area. It's the home of the national park, honoring the Wright brothers and Paul Laurence Dunbar. It is the home of a beautiful replica of one of the Wright brothers' early planes at 3rd and Edward C. Moses. On the other end is the Veterans Affairs Medical Center, one of the very first in the country that has been awarded National Historic Landmark status. And in the middle of the 3rd Street Historic corridor to the west of the National Park and to the east of the Veterans Affairs Center. It's the home of the Wright brothers, the Wright Airplane Factory, the first manufacturing site of airplanes heavier than air flying machines. It is, ladies and gentlemen, one of the fastest growing neighborhoods in the state, becoming increasingly filled with successful businesses, neighborhood that has seen building of historic replica homes, some of the original variety, market price homes, and the Medal of Honor Memorial Park. By honoring those to whom we owe our freedom, will simply enhance this neighborhood. When you go home tonight and if you turn on television, whatever your viewing pleasure might be, you're not watching some government-oriented program telling you how to think and what you do. When you are thinking of moving, no one's going to tell you where you can and can't go. No one's going to tell you what occupation or profession to follow. Why? Because of those who have served our country with courage and with grace. We cannot honor them enough. Thank you for having us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
I usually don't have issues with people hearing my voice. It's kind of the blessing and the burden because I can't whisper, but then again, why would I want to? So, you know, in reference to veterans, it has been said that all gave some, but then again, some gave all. When we talk about nearly 40 individuals in our 8-region community, that being Montgomery County, Miami County, Darke County, Preble County, Warren County, Butler County, Clark County, and Greene County. We are talking about individuals who sacrificed, who bled, upholding, and protecting the very rights that we all enjoy. Military service is something that ties us all together. I'm a veteran, and I'm sure each of you either served as well or you know someone who did. These are the very best amongst us as a community. Their sacrifice was ultimate. And when we consider what they gave and endured so that we could persevere, the only option is to support, to encourage, to uphold, and to celebrate their sacrifice. Honor Park will not just be a memorial for those of yesterday, it will be a celebration of their sacrifice and an emblem of what it means for the life that we all choose to live. You look at the case statement that was provided at the very beginning of the discussion, and you open up the front page, you'll see to the right-hand side, there are 3 individuals that we will say belong to the Miami Valley region. These 3 individuals could easily have been anyone else. These were people's sons, brothers, fathers, cousins, nephews, neighbors. They are in essence us. And their sacrifice is the direct correlation of the freedom and the choices that we all have daily. On the back of the case statement, you'll see there's some donor information on the bottom left corner. I support the memorial because the individuals who shed blood and lost life for what it means supported me without even knowing you, supported you without even knowing you. This is the least that can be done to uphold, to recognize, to remember those who did not forget who they did not know. This is of the utmost importance because oftentimes, as we know, life passes you by. But we must never forget the lives of those who will always remain frozen in time. These individuals who made the ultimate sacrifice, their lives stopped at that moment. And so this memorial will be a celebration of what they did and why they did it for all in the community to behold. So I ask you, I plead with you to reach deep in your heart. 3 ways that an individual can support a person, a cause, an organization, or a mission. That is through their time, their talent, or their token. If you do not have the financial resources, the financial freedom to support with your pocketbook, share this presentation, share this case study with someone who does. If you are short on time, contact Carla or any of us to see what is necessary, what is needed to ensure that this vision becomes a reality in our community. And finally, if you don't have the talent and you don't have the token, give us a moment of your time. Share this discussion, have this discussion with your spouse, with your neighbors, with your community group. Because little is little until it becomes more. Help what has been founded as an idea come to fruition. Share this dream. Our community deserves it. Veterans deserve it. These Medal of Honor recipients deserve it. And those who still remember them as not being frozen in time deserve it. Thank you.
Well, this was really, really, really interesting. And I'm sure that everyone will share this information with their friends and their families, and will all try to participate in some way to help. You said this is a $3 million, $5 million?
$1.5 million.
1.5.
$1.5 million.
$1.5 million project, and we raised 900,000 so far. So if organizations in the community also contribute, we're certain to make it.
Okay, oh, that's very, very good. So we will all see what we can do and try to participate in helping you achieve your goal and our goal, because this is really something. Now, I just want to verify or clarify in my mind where exactly this is, because right now at Third and Edwin C. Moses, I see on the southwest corner, the airplane.
Yes,
Is that where this is going to be?
diagonally across from it, on the northeast corner is a park, and that's where it will be located, right up against the river.
Okay, so, and then that other building, the yellow building is next to it?
Oh, the site, the church
Yes.
is, yes, on the opposite.
Here's the
Corner,
bridge,
right across the street.
and it's to the right of it.
Right state.
Across from the Wright State Building.
Across.
Yeah.
Okay.
This has a really good location.
I
can see the
have it
bridge.
now.
You
I
can
see all that, but I'm still questioning.
It's right at the end.
But she told me now, I know
Okay.
where it is. Okay. Okay, well, this is exciting and, it's going to be, please keep us informed. We will participate in some way, all of us, if we do want to be there when this happens, the grand opening or whatever you want to call it. We want to be there and be a part of it.
Well, we appreciate your support. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Tony?
Yes.
You want to say something?
Yes. We're gonna get the word out. We taped this. This is gonna be a video recording of everybody. And I would like to also add that it would be great for other service organizations to have you as a program, okay? And speaking of veterans, I'm a veteran and a Vietnam veteran. And what I'm doing for Civitan is a club that's been around for 103 years in Dayton. This is wreaths across America. And these wreaths that anyone orders would be placed on one of the 60,000 graves, veteran graves at the Dayton Memorial Cemetery. So if you're interested, all you have to do is take a picture of this and it will take you right to where you can order a wreath, or I can give you an application, okay? And I want to thank you. This was very touching for me as a veteran. Hear all of you. I'd like to have you speak to a small service club, Civitan. Okay, thank you so much. Let me say this. I'm trying something new for them when I send the newsletters out to everyone. If all of the clubs that have any activity going on or any program or fundraiser, if you send me a flyer, I will put it in the newsletter, but I will also include it when I send the contact information out to everyone, a blurb in the heading. So you'll see that before you even open the newsletter. Thank you.
Okay. Well, this was a very informative and again, educational meeting. And we do really, really appreciate you all coming and sharing this with us. So that concludes our meeting for today. Thank you.